Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 25 of Video Game Collectors on Call. I'm so surprised that we've made it this far. I really thought I was going to do 2 or 3 episodes and this would fade off into oblivion and no one would really care, but I appreciate everyone for watching and following along. Today's guest, I have Evan, who goes by Sirjumpcelot. Evan, or
Hi.
Sir Jump, how's it going, man?
What's up, Doc? How are you?
Good, good. So I always like to start because everyone has some creative names on Instagram when it comes to their handles and what they use, and,
Yeah.
and yours is actually interesting as well. So Sir Jumps a lot. Where
Yeah.
did that originate from, and how did you come up with that?
This has been my username on all of my stuff for
Okay.
for a long time. And
Okay.
I was actually playing Call of Duty in 2008, so that was probably World at War era or Modern Warfare 2, like right around that time. And I was the guy that would bunny hop around the corners. And
Ah,
my
okay.
uh, my uncle called me, "Wow, you're jumping around like Sir Jumps a lot." And then I was like,
Okay.
"Huh, that I like that." So then I went and I changed my username to that, and that's been my username ever since.
I was thinking it had something to do with some game where you were jumping around a lot when
Yeah,
you shouldn't have been.
and I
So
love
that definitely
platformers
makes
too,
sense.
so it works out.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. What about gaming? When did you start? Obviously before 2008, but when did you start your love for gaming?
Oh, geez. So I was born in '93. I started actually really playing games. Probably the earliest I can think of was probably 95, 96. I was really little because my family had a Sega Genesis. So I
Okay.
actually still have it to this day. I have several of
Awesome.
my original Sega Genesis games from when I first started gaming, but Sonic was my first game ever, Sonic 2. So that's
Okay.
kind of where it started, and then we ended up getting a Dreamcast, and then a PlayStation 2, and then an Xbox, and then it just kept going and going until
I
today.
don't hear I don't hear a lot of Nintendo consoles in there. Are you not a big Nintendo guy
You
or
okay? So I am. I like Nintendo, but
okay.
funny thing is, my first actual Nintendo console. I mean, Game Boy counts, right? So we're gonna count the Game
Yeah,
Boy.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So I had a
Anyone that
Game
watches
Boy.
the show knows I don't do handhelds, but for this I'll
Yeah,
make an exception. Yeah.
I did a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color and then an SP. But my first actual Nintendo console was the Wii.
Okay, so a little later in the
Yeah,
Nintendo
yeah.
chronological
My
order then.
neighbors all
Okay.
had Nintendo, so I would play it at their houses.
Okay, very cool. It's very nice you still have the original Sega and everything too, because I think a lot of us who are, older and getting back into this hobby maybe got rid of or somehow no longer
Yeah,
have the original consoles. And that's true for me. I do have my original Sega Genesis, like you
nice,
actually, that I had. I had my original PlayStation 2 and my original Nintendo 64, and then
nice.
my original Dreamcast as well. But some of the other ones are newer and ones that I
Mhm.
picked up along the way. Would you say that then you've always been a collector since you've kind of held on to things?
Yeah, I never got rid of my games up until I started being able to buy my own games, and then I kick myself in the face every time I think about it because like right when I started having more money, like when I had a part-time job when I was 15, I was like, wow, games are $60 a piece. I
Yeah.
did the thing that a lot of us gamer collectors regret, and I traded games into GameStop to get a cheaper price. And I started going through my backlog of games, and I really wish I didn't because I had some really good games. I kept the ones I really wanted, but I would say probably around 2015, 2016, I made the decision. I was like, you know what? That I had not really been on YouTube. I had not really like seen a lot of the game collecting. Like I didn't know of anyone on YouTube. I just was like, all right, I'm going to start rebuilding my library. And then I've been actively collecting since about 2015 to rebuild everything that I've had. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I'm at.
That's good to know. I mean, I think a lot of times I see, at least for me, I see collectors, and I've told some of the people this, but you see someone and you're like, man, did that take you just a year? And they're like, no, no, I've been collecting for 20 years. So I think that's a lot of advice that I always give to collectors and other people say is it doesn't happen overnight. So
No,
that's an important
it does
important thing
not.
to know. But what do you collect? A little bit of everything? Is there things that you say no? Like for me, no handhelds, right? But what
Yeah.
about for yourself?
So I'm kind of in the no handheld thing as well. I do have like a handful of Game Boy games and like PSP games because I didn't have a lot of handheld games because I did like Pokemon or just the random Game Boy game. I think I have almost all the Game Boy games I had, so I think I only have about like maybe 30 handheld games like in total. I'm a PlayStation guy mainly, but I don't I don't discriminate. I like pretty much anything. Like right now, my big thing is I like the Switch, and I also like Xbox actually. So right now I'm collecting Xbox One, and I'm trying to get my hands on an original Xbox again because there's some games that you can't play like on the 360 or the Series S or Series X that I'm trying to get again.
Correct.
So
Yeah. So you said 30 handheld games. That's 29 more than I have. So I have this game here, which has no label. So I bought a lot of a bunch of different games, and this guy threw this in as
huh?
an extra. Orbit, if you're watching, this is your game. I don't know what it is because I don't have an ability to play it. I'm thinking about taking it
Okay,
to a game store and just saying, "Can someone pop this in and just tell me what it is?"
nice.
So, but it's the game that shall remain a mystery for now. You have some games from your collection to show off, some maybe of your favorites or something like
Yeah,
that.
I have a few, and then I also have a couple of like what I consider like my holy grail items in my
Okay.
collection.
Okay. Cool.
One
Let's
of
see.
yeah, I got a few if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. As many as you
One of
want.
the things that I one of okay, so one of the things I mainly collect is are you familiar with the Evercade?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I've not played one, not used one, but I do know of it.
I have the full set. It's taken me a while to get it's the current full set. So I have the
Okay.
current full set of the Evercade. There's just all the games. I don't have all the hardware, but I have most of it. But I did end up scoring one of the wood grain Atari edition handhelds that comes with it because the Evercade is handheld. It's also the console, and they have the. This was I think my favorite thing this year that I've collected is the quarter size arcade with
Okay.
the sandwall buttons.
Okay. So the cartridges you have for the games can go in that thing as well as the
Yeah, so they
handheld,
they
as well as
fit
the
in
console and
here.
the TV. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
It's pretty sweet. I have both of them. I have the Mega Man one and the Street Fighter one. Evercade is kind of happened by accident. I remember I saw the Evercade on YouTube and I was like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And the cartridges were when I started collecting it were only like $20 a piece, so it was really easy to accumulate like the set. And I was
Yeah.
the problem with Evercade is that they're numbered and
Okay.
I have OCD, so I'm like,
Okay.
oh no, I need 4, 5, and 6. I need 1, 2, and 3. Like it. That's where they get you,
Okay.
at least for me. So I was like,
So
ah.
how many are there? If they're numbered, how many is there?
So the red boxes are like the home game versions, not the arcade versions. And there's
Okay.
44 of them right now. The two newest ones actually come out at the end of April. And
Okay.
then there are purple ones, so they're in different color boxes. The purple ones are the arcade versions.
Okay. Meaning it will only go into the arcade thing, or it'll still play
No,
on all
it'll play
three
on all of
mediums.
it.
Oh.
It's just like
Oh.
those are
Okay.
like the arcade ports of those games.
Ah.
And
Okay.
then the last one is the blue ones, which there aren't very many of these. I think there's only about 10 of these. These are the PC, like the classic computer releases. Like this one's Amiga.
Okay. Okay. So these are games from all different consoles and systems that
Yes.
they've just recreated, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a compilation. So like every one of the games comes in this clamshell case. They all have a different publisher. Like for example, this one's Amiga, and then all the cartridges look like this. So they're a little bit bigger than like a Game Boy cartridge, but
Okay.
they fit into the arcade, into the handhelds, and into there's like a home console version that sits like and plugs into your TV. And it's
Okay.
hot swappable too, so when you pop the cartridges in, all the games pop up.
Okay.
It's a cool system.
I randomly stumbled I just got back into collecting maybe a year ago, and I was
Mhm.
walking through a game store and I saw this Evercade thing. How long has this been around?
I don't know the exact day that it came out. I mean, I've been buying Evercade games since 2017. I don't know how long they
Wow.
were around
Okay.
before that,
Okay.
but prices for Evercade are slowly starting to go up, probably just because of inflation or whatever. But they used to be 19.99, and now they're 24.99. So they're slowly starting to increase.
And do they make these games and then never make them again, or are they continually making like game one that they've made. Do they still make copies of that, or is that hard to find? Is it rare?
So they, much like with anything, they have licensing, so they have to license the games every year basically. And some of the cartridges become legacy cartridges, is what they call them, and then you're at the mercy of eBay. The only one that I was looking for, I didn't end up grabbing it. It's over there on my shelf, but I think it's number 10. That was the most expensive one. That was in order for me to complete the collection. I just bit the bullet and had to like buy it because I was just like, oh, like this is the only one I'm missing. So I had to like trade and negotiate with the guy to bring down the price.
What's on number 10?
It's the Technos collection, so it's Double Dragon and then a few other releases from that company. But it was one of the only, I guess it was one of the only home releases of a few of those Double Dragon games, so it shot up in price like a crazy amount.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that brings me to another question because, I also have OCD, so I have to put all my games in alphabetical order. Now, do you do that as well? But those games are numbered, so they're not in alphabetical order, correct?
No, my games are. Now I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I don't have a ton of space for like a game room really until me and my wife buy our house. So I with all my consoles, depending on where they are in my house, I have Switch all together, Xboxes all together, and then PlayStation 2. And yes, those are all alphabetized, but Evercade's the one exception. They're in numerical order.
Okay. So you have like consoles in different rooms hooked up to TVs? Is that kind
Yeah,
of how it goes?
I don't have everything hooked up like at once, but everything is relatively easy to hook up. And fortunately, I also married a gamer, so she shares
Very good.
my love for gaming. So I'm introducing her to a lot of new games because like she played certain games when she was younger that I had never heard of. So it's
Now,
interesting.
did she also have a collection that you came together and made one big collection, or was she just kind of a
He has
casual
a
gamer?
few, yeah, but we kind of came to the agreement that for space purposes, because my wife likes to read, so she collects books and then I collect games, but her games are digital. So she does digital and then I do physical. That's the trade-off.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to show off, or was it mostly the Evercade? Or?
I have a couple more things.
Yeah.
I think so. Two things that I actually really like collecting like lately. You know what? I think I'll just show probably this is according to CLZ Games app. It's an app where you can like scan your game collection and then it gives you. It's kind of like price charting where it tells you how much a game is worth and whatnot.
Yeah, I've not heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's CLZ Games app. You can scan your entire library, and it goes onto your phone on like a database, and it tells you what you have, what it's going for. It's nice when you go to like conventions because you can scan something and see if people are ripping
You already
you
have
off.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
I think
It's free. The
yes,
app?
it's free. If you want because I think it's free up to a certain like storage number, but if you want like the unlimited storage, I think it's only like $10 a year.
Okay.
It's super super cheap, but I use it because I collect vinyl records too, so I use it for my vinyl records.
Okay. Awesome.
But my holy grail item, I have two.
Okay.
The first one is this one. This is Blood Fresh Supply. This is actually a big box. Sorry about the glare. This is a big box PC release that was put out by Night Dive Studios, and Limited Run re-released it because I guess this PC game is like super super expensive, and it like the actual original version is really really expensive, and I was never gonna afford it because I collect some big box PC stuff because I do have a computer that can run it. So I sometimes will collect that, but there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's like a mouse pad, the game on a USB. There's an action figure.
Cool.
This is one of my favorite things in my collection because I love horror stuff, and then I'm a big.
Yeah.
It's like a horror first person shooter, so it uses the Duke Nukem engine. It's really good. It's a really solid game.
Interesting. Yeah, I had not heard of that, and it's only on PC, right? Or
So far, yeah, it's on GOG, it's on Steam, yeah.
okay.
And then I think my other two things that I really really wanted to show is the Doom collection for Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
This sits loud and proud on my shelf, and then it also lights up, and then it plays the Doom theme song as well. So Limited Run also put this out a long time ago, but I missed the pre-order, so I had to buy it like secondhand. But I got a really good deal on it because the plastic wasn't on it. It was opened, but none of the contents on the inside were opened. So
Okay.
I got like $100 off, and it was like
So
not even really open. So I was like, sweet, score.
so the game is in there and everything, and there's some other
Everything,
little
yeah.
trinkets and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
game's
Very
still
cool.
sealed too because I have all it's all three of the Dooms, the originals, and then I have
Okay.
them digitally, so I'm gonna leave it sealed in case they ever get
Gotcha.
delisted. And then my one of my last things I'm gonna show is one of
Okay.
my favorite things in my collection.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's funny you show gargoyles because I have wanted to buy this game for Sega Genesis for a very long time. There's a game store I visit. The price is just too high, so
I know.
I couldn't, I couldn't buy it, but I really want it and I've never played it and I'd love to play it.
Yeah, this is like the remaster version of it. You can get it
Okay.
digitally for like I think it's like $15 or something like that. But
Okay.
this was a I buy stuff from Limited Run a lot because
Okay.
they tug at your heartstrings and they're like, hey, you really should
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
this.
I have quite a few as well. Yeah, yeah.
But this is the deluxe edition of the one that's on Switch because it's numbered and it comes with a limited edition NECA figure for Goliath as well. So the game's all in here, but
There's a speaker. Is it? Oh yeah, it's like I can't
yeah, so
barely hear
it's
it.
it's it's telling like the intro thing it used to
Just
play before
intro.
the show.
Oh, very cool.
But this is one of my favorite things in my collection. It's so big that I have to put it like in my closet right now. So like half of our closet, like we have a big walk-in, and half of it's just like the collector's editions of games. So
Gotcha. That's cool. Yeah,
yeah,
Limited Run makes some really cool stuff.
they
I
do.
think is this um
I've
yeah,
been
this
looking at that
Ninja
this
Turtles.
entire
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, yeah. That's also sealed and everything inside. I have the digital copy of the game, but then I just
Yep.
bought this to kind of as a display thing. So
It's such a good game, dude. It's such a good
it
game.
is. Yeah. No, I love the Ninja Turtles games, classics,
Yeah.
especially the beat 'em ups.
Mm.
Is the Tell me about the Gargoyles game because I've never played it. Is it like a beat 'em up as well or
It's like a 2D action platformer. It's kind of like, did you ever play
okay.
Aladdin back in the day?
I sure did. Yep.
It's
I
very
have.
similar to that. Like it has a
Okay.
very similar like formula to that, but you can jump and grapple up onto cliffs and ledges and things like that. You play as Goliath.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
not as difficult as Aladdin because that
No.
was a hard
No.
game. Okay.
Or
Yeah,
Lion
that was a
King.
very yeah, absolutely. And then so you talked about that app you have and it keeps track of the number of games you have. Do you know how many games you have? Do you have to look and
Yes.
see?
Yes, I can pull that up real quick. So, I haven't scanned loose games yet because I have like
Okay.
binders of like loose discs that I need to get
Okay.
replacement cases for.
Okay.
But complete
How
in
how
box games.
how would you scan those? Because there's no barcode, right? So
So
you just
you
take a
can
picture.
actually on the you can't really see it, but on the app it tells you like the system over here and it tells you how many games you have. You can scan barcodes or you can actually search the game by title and then you can
Okay,
say whether it's complete, loose, or
gotcha,
sealed.
gotcha. Okay,
Yeah. So according to this, now my collection isn't as big as a lot of people that I've met and a
oh,
lot of people I've
same,
seen. Um,
same. Yeah, yeah.
Total, I have 1,338 games across all my different systems.
That's still a lot. Yeah, I think anything over 1,000 is impressive for sure. I'm at 660 when I last looked
Nice,
yesterday, so I'm still working to get up there.
nice.
Have you played all of them?
So a lot of them are actually from my childhood. So I've played them, most of them, yes. Beaten them is a different story.
Oh, the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely haven't beaten every game.
but
Where do you? Yeah.
sorry. The cool thing about my day job, I'm a teacher. So the cool thing
Okay.
about my day job is over summer I have 2 months off.
Nice.
So that's usually like I'm on spring break right now. So this is like my time. I
Yeah.
catch up on my shows. I catch up on games that I'm playing or
Mhm.
whatever. So when I retire, that's what most of it's for.
Do you ever involve video games in the classroom with your students?
So I consider myself to be somewhat knowledgeable of like games and gaming history. Like I said, I
Yeah.
probably don't know as much as a lot of people, but um, you know, I teach 11-year-olds and they know Fortnite, Rocket League, and Minecraft.
exactly. And Roblox, right? Is that
And
one of the big
Roblox,
ones
yeah,
still?
Roblox is really
Yeah.
big too.
Yeah. Okay. So not really interested in like the Mario's or the Perfect Darks or GoldenEye and stuff like that.
Mario, yeah. Before we left for Thanksgiving break and what was it, winter break, usually I line up all my assignments so that way I have at least 2 days before break for free every single year. Because then I showed the Sonic movies. I showed one and two, and then I'm gonna show them the third one before we leave for summer break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Where do you like to purchase things at? Do you have a game store you frequent? Do you purchase on eBay or online?
Mm, that's a good question. I live in Southern California. I live actually about, I would say, 40 minutes ish, 45 minutes depending on traffic north of San Diego. So I'm like in between
Okay.
San Diego and Riverside, so I'm like right in there. Um, we have a local game store called Calico Games. They have 4 locations. I go there, and then there's another one in Lake Elsinore called Retro Gorilla. That dude is a really cool guy. You can follow them on Instagram, Calico Games
I've
and Retro Gorilla.
I've heard of
Um,
Retro Gorilla. Yeah, I've heard of that name.
yeah, they do like their little retro fests every so often where they block off the parking lot and then they bring in other vendors and they get everyone together. They're a really cool like community. It's awesome.
Okay.
eBay, I do use eBay. eBay for me is kind of a last resort. I really use eBay only if I can't find it anywhere else. Like if I've looked on Amazon, if I've looked on
Makes
Best
sense.
Buy, if I've gone out and I have no luck, then I go on eBay and I'm like, okay, is it one of these games? Like, what's it going for? Kind of thing.
Right, right. Have you used the app that you mentioned? What was it called? CLA? Is that what it's called?
CLZ.
CLZ, CLZ.
Yeah.
And that's what you mostly use for prices and things when you're out and about.
Yeah, so the other cool thing about it too is like, I'm not like sponsored by them or anything. I just really like the app. But when you scan a game, like if I'm just out and about and I
Uh-huh.
scan a game, everything pops up like all at once and it'll actually highlight it if you already have it in your collection because that's happened to me like twice where I was out with
Okay.
some of my buddies and I was like I don't think I have this game and I was about ready to buy it and I scanned it and I already had it so I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah,
But
that's
it
definitely happened
tells
to me.
you
Yeah.
all the prices and it tells you if you have it or not and it also tells you like if in the statistics it'll tell you if it's like one of those games that is like rapidly going up in price
But like if it's like trending upward versus down, and that's
like
nice.
pokemon games are
Yeah,
I don't collect pokemon games.
absurdly priced for
Oh
sure.
dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What about what would you say is your most prized possession or, biggest gaming memory that you have that you'll always remember? Something amazing that happened, maybe you beat a game that you were struggling with.
Ooh. um so this is this is probably one of my big holy grail items as far as it being like probably the most valuable game in my collection, but that's monetary. I love the game, don't get me wrong, like I love the game. But
Yeah.
to me, my most valuable game in my entire collection is my original copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Genesis. It's
Okay.
the only one of the Sonic games for me that is my original copy. And I still have from 1995 or 6 whenever it was because my mom was a big gamer so she introduced me to this
Ah,
kind of stuff. I still have the pattern for Metal Sonic at the end of the game written down
okay.
on a piece of paper in the clamshell, so
That's
every
very
time I
cool.
play that game I go in my closet and I pop that thing out and it's the same pattern every time.
Okay, very cool. What about, is there something currently that you're looking for that you want to add to the collection you just haven't found a good deal on?
Yes. So one of the things that I'm actively collecting right now are these. These are. I'm trying to. Sorry about the glare.
You're good. You're good.
These are from also from Limited Run because I collect
Okay.
movies too. I don't collect like a
Ah,
ton, but I do
okay.
collect some VHS and some DVDs. These are
Okay.
Nintendo Switch games that look like VHS, like regular VHS boxes. Like this is the Jurassic Park collection on Switch. This is the Blade Runner game on Switch. But they
Ah,
look
very
like
cool.
they're in the packaging of like VHS tapes. And then this is Layers of Fear. I don't know if you've ever heard of this horror game, but this is a good one.
No. No, it sounds. Is that based on a movie as well?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's like a dude that's like he's an artist who starts going crazy. But
Okay.
this is the collection of all the layers of fear, but it's in like a VHS style box. There's
Okay.
one that I'm looking for. They did Knights of the Old Republic from Star
Okay.
Wars. I'm looking for the first one because I have two, and then they did the Force Unleashed. They did the Force
Okay.
Unleashed, so I'm looking for the first one. It's like 110 on eBay. I'm trying to maybe see because I'm going to the SoCal Gaming Expo in Pasadena in
Okay.
June.
Very cool.
That's one of the things I'm looking for. Like I'm gonna go booth to booth and try to find it, see if I can score a deal maybe.
Okay. No, very cool. I just want to, for people who are younger than 25 years old, a VHS was used to be a kind of like a tape that you would play movies on. It wasn't always a disc that we had available.
Yeah,
So now we have Blu-rays and 4K and all that crazy stuff, but
yeah,
wasn't always the case. So
yeah.
it's funny. I was talking to my wife yesterday. I remember back when Netflix used to be, they would mail you a CD in the mail and you could have
Yep,
two
I
at a
remember that
time. So
too.
if it's like a TV show that had 4 discs, you would have the first two, then you'd send those back, get the next two, and then they slowly moved into the digital age,
What a time,
which is
huh? I
crazy.
remember
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy. I've seen some pictures of what their website used to look like as well, and it was wow.
Yeah,
It's much different than
it's
what it is
crazy.
now. Um, Maybe a controversial question. I don't know. Some people have
Sure.
some heavy opinions on this, but what are your thoughts on graded games?
Um, I don't
There's no
actually
wrong answer. Yeah.
I don't actually really have an opinion on them. I think I don't personally collect them because that's a little out of my price range usually. Um, I don't have any. I have some games that are sealed that I would like maybe potentially want to get graded, but I don't really. To me, I don't find the appeal for collecting graded games.
Right.
If you are a collector that grades your games and you have them all on like a shelf, that I commend you because it looks really cool and it is a really interesting thing for people to grade their games. I don't own one. I don't really have a desire to, I guess.
Okay. Do you stream anything like on Twitch or whatnot?
I did for a little bit. I took a
Uh,
break from Twitch until I have like my game room and like a setup. I don't really have the space or the technology. I mean, I do have the tech to do it, but if I'm the type of person where if I want to do it, I want to do it right. So I
okay.
want like a space to so I can stream and everything. So I think when we buy
Yeah,
our
yeah.
house, that's what I'm probably gonna do. But I do YouTube,
Okay.
so
Okay. Very cool. Um, what about so I'm going to move into the section that I like to call rapid fire questions. Obviously you can answer these as extended as you want, but these are just going to be some quick, easy questions for you. At some point, I'll get smart enough to figure out how to make a little intro for this section of the show. But
nice.
until then, we'll just do it this way. What are you currently playing?
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Okay, and how is that?
Honestly, I don't really look at reviews or much of anything because there's a lot of controversy with the game. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima, so I was like, you know what, feudal Japan, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm
Okay.
forming my own opinion. I'm
I
liking it.
never That's the best way to do it. Yeah, I usually don't. The only opinions I usually take when it comes to video games are from my friends because they have similar
Yep,
tastes,
same.
and I don't go online and look at oh, something got 2 stars or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
for me, it got 5 stars. So,
same.
and sometimes the opposite's true. I see a game that got 9.8 out of 10, and I'm like, this is a 2 out of 10. Like this game is not fun.
Exactly.
So, okay, what about the most recent game you beat?
Persona 3 Reload.
Okay, I've not played any of the Persona games. I
I
know
didn't
they are
either,
quite
and
popular
I'm
as
going
well.
through them. I'm going through them a little bit. I played 5 right before I went on Thanksgiving break. I started it because I have a week off for Thanksgiving, so
Okay.
that was the only game I played pretty much the whole time. So that was a game I started and stopped like 5 different times because it was really slow to get into. But then once I got past the first 3 hours of the game, I was just like, okay, I'm in. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. What about favorite console of all time?
Oh, this is such a tough question. My biggest portion of my collection is my
Uh,
PlayStation 2.
okay.
I'm almost at 300 PlayStation 2 games,
Okay.
so I'm almost there. PS4 is a close second, but I do love the Dreamcast as well. I don't have very many games for the Dreamcast because Dreamcast collecting can be kind of pricey.
The Sega in general is quite pricey, I feel like, because you've
Yeah.
got Dreamcast and you've got Sega Saturn, which I think is the most expensive console to collect for.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
there's a guy that I talked to. His name's Manny's Arcade, and he is. I don't know if he's going for the full set of Saturn or something, but he has this segment on his YouTube channel. I think it's called Chasing the Saturn Dream, and
cool.
he collects Saturn. That's like what he does. And I don't have a Sega Saturn. I've actually never played a Sega Saturn.
Okay. I played one growing up. I didn't have one growing up.
Mm.
My neighbor had one, and I thought it was just a cool concept and a
Mm.
cool console. And there were some pretty interesting exclusive games on it. So
Yeah.
I have recently purchased one and tried to get some more games for it. So,
Okay.
what about your favorite game of all time?
Ooh, Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, I have played. There's a new one that came out that I played on Steam. I forget what it's called. The
Rift
newest
Apart,
one.
is that the newest one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that one I played. I haven't beat it. I've made it a decent way through it, but I just never did
Yeah,
the whole thing.
that's my favorite franchise of all time. I love Sonic, I love Doom,
Okay.
I love Tomb Raider, but Ratchet and Clank for me is the best. And I actually just met the guys a little bit ago, and they signed my Funko Pops.
Oh, very
So
cool.
that was, dude,
Okay.
I was on cloud nine. Like Ratchet
Yeah.
and Clank to me is my favorite franchise. But I do really like. Have you ever played Yakuza or the Like a Dragon franchise?
No, no.
Oh man,
I'll have to
this
look
is
that
one of
up.
the best franchises ever. Is the Like a Dragon or Yakuza, dude? I highly recommend it.
Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
No, it's on
Oh, okay.
Xbox as
Okay.
well. It's on Xbox
Okay.
and PlayStation.
Okay. I do not have a PS5. That's the only modern gen console I don't
It is
have.
on PS4 though.
I don't have PS4.
Okay, it's on
PS
Xbox.
PS2 is the newest I get with Sony, so I never went past
Sweet.
that. I just don't. To me, PS3 and 4 are not retro. I don't know because it feels like I was in
Hmm.
like college when they came out, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really bring that nostalgia that the others do. So PS2 is about as new as I get on that.
Okay,
Um,
that's
what
a fair
about
way to look at it.
yeah? What about the worst game you've ever played? This is always a fun thing to
Ooh.
learn about.
Oh, the worst game I've ever played.
Yeah,
All right, get ready for some controversy here.
she's gonna say like Halo or something.
I actually don't like the Souls games at all.
Okay. Okay. Meaning, like the From Software, you mean
Yep.
like Elden
Yep.
Ring and the okay,
I can't do it. And I like Cuphead. Yeah, I know Cuphead's not really a part of like the From Software thing. Cuphead is notoriously difficult. I just don't like to me, I don't like the Souls games because now this is just my opinion. To me, they control terribly and
mm,
they it's just like the get good mentality. I just don't like that. Like, I like when
okay,
games have a difficulty setting because some of us just, I mean, we're adults. Some of us don't
yeah,
have 30 plus hours to spend to just learn how to play
yeah.
the game. I just want to play the game and just
I could,
beat it.
s- I could see that. I can see that. But you've tried them at least, right? You've played them and
Yes,
given them a
I've
chance.
beaten one boss and then I was like,
Okay. The only one I've played completely through is Elden Ring, obviously the newest one and the expansion that just came out.
mm,
And I only got that because my friend has it, and we kind of played it together a little bit. And it was, I'm not typically into those kind of games, but I did enjoy it. It was very,
the world's
once you beat it.
gorgeous. It's a
Oh yeah,
gorgeous
yeah,
game. I watched my
oh
buddy
yeah,
play it and I'm just like, dude,
yeah.
you're awesome because I can't do it, but man, the world is just so pretty.
It was definitely a struggle in the beginning, and I don't think I would have. I probably would have given up and stopped playing if I didn't have my friend because he would come in my world and like kind of help beat a boss or something, and then
Yeah,
I could move
totally.
on, and then yeah, and I would have been lost without that.
Hmm.
Um, what about your favorite video game character?
Probably Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, or I would have to go with the protagonist from the Yakuza games, Kazuma Kiryu.
Okay, all right, very cool. What about your favorite multiplayer game?
Oh,
So there's a
oh,
lot of good ones.
yeah. So lately, my buddies and I have actually been doing the Halo Master Chief Collection on Xbox. So we've been playing
Okay,
classic Halo 2, and
okay.
we've been getting a bunch of just 30-year-olds on Halo, just reliving the glory days kind of thing. It's, but honestly, my favorite multiplayer shooter of all time is Battlefield 1.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure if that's the one I played. Probably not. That one came out a while ago, right?
You-
The first Battlefield.
2016. It's almost 10 years old.
Wow. Now I definitely feel old now
Yeah,
because I haven't
yeah.
played.
That was the one that
But
was in
I
World War One.
okay. I played a few of those. No, those are definitely fun games.
Mm-hmm.
What about your favorite genre of video games?
Mm, it varies between platformers and shooters, but
Okay.
I think a type of game that because I've talked about this on my YouTube channel, a type of game that I can get sucked into and I cannot put it down are games like Stardew Valley or like farming
Okay.
sims.
Okay.
I I don't know what it is. It's just like my wife's all about the cozy games, and Stardew Valley is like if you've never played this, it's so good. If you just need a break just from like every other type of game.
Okay. Is it somewhat? I mean, I've never played it. Is it somewhat like Animal Crossing, maybe,
It's
or?
very similar. It's like a 16-bit kind of graphics, maybe 32-bit. You inherit a farm from your grandpa, and you have to. It's a combination of creating your farm, selling your products, and then you can also do fighting, like in like the mines, and then you get to know everyone in the town. It's a very easy to put hundreds of hours into Stardew Valley, but
Okay.
it's a 10 out of 10 for sure.
Okay. What about the hardest game you've ever played? And you can't say the Souls games.
Okay, all right. I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
all right. The hardest game I've ever played.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a tough question.
Or the
Rob,
hardest level in any game,
am
if
I
you want
allowed to say
specific.
Battletoads?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
I've never
Are
beaten
you
Battletoads ever.
the speeder bikes or which specific spot?
Yep, the Turbo Tunnel. Yep,
Okay. Yep.
yep.
That's everyone's downfall for sure.
Yeah. Every time I get there, I love the game up to that point, and then I'm just like, oh, we've reached this level again. I've never beaten it, even to this day.
One day, I
I
think
know
it's
that
gonna
one
happen
day.
for you.
You know what though?
One day.
Actually, hardest game of all time, Gym Power.
No, what is Gym Power? Never heard
Oh,
of it.
dude, when we're done with this, look up Gym Power. It was originally on Super Nintendo, and then they re-released it on like Switch, Xbox. It's a side-scrolling like action shooter. Dude, the first level is like ridiculous.
Gym Power, as in like the name Gym, Jim, or like a
Yeah,
gym, like where you go to
yeah.
work out. Oh, okay.
JIM Power. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll definitely have to
It's
look into
it's
that.
ridiculous.
Okay. What advice do you have for people who are just starting to get into collecting, maybe don't know where to start or what to do or have questions?
Um, I would say collect what you want to collect. That's just what I tell everyone. Like I tell my friends, I tell people who I meet. I'm always fascinated with like what do you collect and like why do you like to collect it kind of thing. I
Yeah.
collect things that for me I want to play either now, a year from now, 10 years from now that I'm gonna play it. But collect what you want to collect. I would say when like for example, don't go out there and try to buy all the Pokemon games right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But if that's what you want to do and those are the games that you are going to play, then all the power to you. But yeah, collect what you want to collect and that you will get enjoyment out of. Don't just collect just for the sake of it. Do it because you want it and you want to do it. Like it means something to you.
I think we've mentioned Pokemon a couple times, but I also, when it comes especially to Pokemon games, I think those are some of the games that are most have the most reproductions out there. So especially with something like that, you have to be
Mm-hmm.
careful of make sure it's a real copy, unless that doesn't matter to you. Which, if that doesn't matter to you, that's great. But just
Yeah.
make sure you're not paying the price for a real copy, and it's really just a
Yeah.
reproduction. So
I have a little tool. I went to there's a game store up in Seattle called Pink Gorilla, and
okay,
I went there for 2 years ago, and I got a little. It's like a toolkit that you can open up cartridges to see if they're fake,
oh right,
and then
yeah,
it has like a
I have
little
that.
booklet so like you know what to look for because. I
Okay,
don't buy handheld games, let alone really loose copies of games. But if I'm ever in that spot, I have that tool with me where I can be like, "Hey, I need to see if this is real before I spend $90, $100 on it." And I really
sure.
don't think that if they're at least if the person has any integrity, I don't think that there should be any issue with them letting you just open it and look.
Yeah, I've experienced a couple game stores. Well, one where he said no, I don't have any tools to open it, and I said okay, well I'm not buying it
Pretty
because
much.
there's no way
Yeah.
I can verify that it's real. But I've been to other stores where they're like, yeah, let me open that up for you. And they open it up and no problem. Other stores where they've taken the game, like I do a lot of shopping in other cities because I travel a lot.
Okay.
And so, I'll be like, well, if I go home and test this and it doesn't work, I'm not going to be able to return this because I won't be coming back here
Totally.
anytime
Yeah.
soon. So a lot of times the guys will like, hook up a Nintendo 64, put the game in, say, there you go, see it works. I think that's
Yeah.
very good. There are definitely some great stores like that.
Absolutely.
Social wise, I know you have Instagram. That's where I recruit almost all of my people
Yeah.
for the show. What about you said YouTube? Tell me about your YouTube channel.
So my YouTube channel it's just kind of the main, well, I mean, Instagram's definitely my main because I do game of the day. So I take pictures of my games that I recommend to people or games I'm currently playing, and I have usually one a day unless I'm out of town or I'm busy. But I I feel like I have enough games in my collection where I could talk about a game a day, kind of tell you, hey, like this is a good one, check it out, or hey, this is one that I collected that I like the box art or whatever. But my YouTube channel is a mix of recommendations, pickups, and then we do reviews, and then we do like gaming excursions. So we like when we go to the SoCal Gaming Expo, we film the whole thing and just us talking to people or whatever we did, just things
Who's
like
we
that.
when you say we? Who is that?
So it's predominantly me, but my co-host, his name's Reaper King.
Okay.
His actual name is Brandon. He's the one that I do the pickups with. So he's
Okay.
kind of my co. He's not in every one of my videos, but he's in like a good
Okay.
majority of them.
Okay, and is it Sirjumpcelot on YouTube as well?
It's Jump TV.
Oh, okay.
That's the YouTube channel.
Okay, very nice. And then any other social media like a TikTok or whatever the kids are using these days, Lemonade or something? I don't know what it's
So
called.
yes, I am on TikTok as well. That one's just Sirjumpcelot as well.
Okay.
Um, I'm not on TikTok as much as I like because I try to I try to limit doom scrolling as much as possible.
Oh, yes, yes.
But if I sometimes what I do when I make if I make a TikTok or something, I make it for my TikTok and for my Instagram, so I do it for both.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
I that way I
Okay.
can share it on both accounts.
Okay. No, that makes sense. No. And then any other social media accounts or things that you have?
Uh, uh, I mean, I have a Twitch. It's still Sir Jumps a lot, but I don't really use it right now. I
No,
might in the
been a
future, but
while.
it's on hold.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, again, thanks for coming on the show. We had a great discussion. I learned a lot about Evercade, which I've
Yeah,
only seen in passing, so I definitely might check that out. But thanks for coming. Appreciate having you on here and the things we've learned today.
yeah.
Everybody, again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you all again next time on the next episode of Video Game Collectors on Call. So thanks everyone. Take care.
Thanks, Doc.